Hey, welcome back to another episode of Already Overbooked. I know it's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks. I was on vacation and decided to take a little break. But I'm back and let's talk about some stuff. All right, so channel and life updates. So, like I mentioned, I was out of town last week. We went to the beach just a few hours away. It was a lot of fun. The kids had a blast. I went through and put away my phone for the whole time I was there. And it was actually really nice. It was nice to be in the moment with the family, not being distracted by the chaos that was happening in the world last week. Not going to get into it. But yeah, there was some chaos that happened. And I'm glad I was ignorant and had no idea what was going on for a few days. So it was very nice. And yeah, it was good. We stayed at the beach, spent a lot of time in the pool. I did some fishing at the east side of Florida, which was fun, and some salt water. So I did some saltwater fishing, which was cool. Caught some sharks, some baby, smaller sharks. We ended up tossing back in. But it was a lot of fun. Had a blast. Cannot wait to go through and do it. Something again with the kids this summer. Probably in a few weeks, what I'm thinking. I might take another week off in July from work. I'm not going there from here. I'll still do videos most likely. But from work side, I'm probably going to take another week off. It's the summer. I want to do something else with the kids. So yeah, overall, it was a blast. I had too much fun and cannot recommend just taking some time off from your day to day. Get out of your house, go somewhere, even if it's camping. Camping's like 10, $20. You can go through and go to a campsite and just sleep outside. A lot of fun. Highly encourage it. Recharge your battery. Have a good old time. From a channel update, I do have a poll out for my July TBR. Right now, we have a very close race between King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby and Wistful Ascending by J.C.M. Byrne. Both are been jumping all day on who is winning. So go in, I'll put it down in the description. I'm going to stop the polling probably Saturday to probably tomorrow by the time midday. I'll probably go through and stop the polling because I got to make the video for Monday. Um, so yeah, get your vote in. Let me know who I should go through and read. I'm probably going to end up reading the other one the following month anyway. They both sound fantastic, but which one should I go through and have to read in July? So go through and do that voting. It should be a lot of fun. All right, so that's pretty much it I have on that. So let's just jump into what did I go through and read in this past few weeks. So the first one I ended up going through and finishing was Envoys of War by Dave Lawson. This was a buddy read with a bunch of people on Discord. It was so much fun of going in and reading this book with everybody. And I really like this book. And I'm most likely going to do a review and reach out to Dave, see if he wants to be on the channel because I really enjoyed his book and wanted to go through and, talk to him about it. But we'll see if that pans out. The other book I ended up going through and finishing was Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio. Now, this was also a buddy read with Rowdy from Rowdy Player One, and I am blown away by how amazing this book was. I really liked Empire of Silence. I truly enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastically written story, and it was leading up to some intense things. And this one really hit it out of the park. I do not know how Demon and White is going to be any better than this, but I hear Demon and White is the best. Yeah, but this was so good. Highly recommend going through and jumping into Krista Rocky. I know these are kind of thick books, but man, it reads so easily and so well. And I'm super excited to go through and talk about this book with Rowdy. All right, so the next one I ended up going through and reading Depths of Vanalf by Brady Hunsacker. So, Depths of Vanalf was one of the best indie books that I've gone through and read this year. It was so well done. I was engaged the whole time, beat after beat. This book knocked it out of the park. Gold. Were there some areas of opportunity? Of course, it's an author's first book, but overall, the story was so well done. And I'm probably going to be going through and doing Not probably. I'm definitely going to be doing a review of this in the next few weeks. I just got to go through and get my thoughts together on how I want to go through and present this, because it is something definitely need to go through and read, and you're going to have a blast. And where the story's going from here is it's totally awesome of what the author's going to go through and do. I'll mention it during my review of how he's going through and planning the next part of the series, which I think is very, very cool. And we'll talk about that during my review. And I'm thinking about 2 weeks. So we'll go from there. All right, so let's jump into books that I am reading and also books that I wasn't able to go through and read. So the first one is books that I'm currently reading, and that is Three Rivers Plague by Zachary and Joshua Forbes. This was this current month's viewer pick, book pick. So this one won by a landslide, and I understand why. This book is so much fun. There's a lot of tropes and a lot of situations that seem familiar, but the Forbes brothers do it in a different way, which I really, really enjoyed. You don't find a lot of post apocalyptic books that don't follow a military member, a police officer, and this one follows a band. So you get a different perspective, different ideas. You get a lot more background about these characters in this book and the connections the band has together because they've been touring together for a long time, and then the crazy people they go through and meet throughout this story. This is a lot of fun. Cannot wait to go through and finish this. I am about halfway done, and it will definitely be finished probably before my conversation with Rowdy tomorrow, because I have not been able to put this book down when I had a chance to go through and read. So this book's fantastic. Cannot wait to go through and see how they go through and end this book. Most likely, I will have a lot to talk about with this book once I finish it, because they do a lot of cool things with it. So look out for a review coming up later on in the month for Three Rivers Plagues. So there were two books that I had on my list to go through and read that I did not get to. I bit off way more than I can chew when I planned my TBR for June. So there was two books that I decided that I didn't want to rush through them and cause myself maybe not to really soak it in and enjoy it. And that was F. Paul Wilson's Reborn. I think it's book 3 or 4 in Adversary Cycle. So that one's going to get pushed to uh, probably July, maybe August. And the second one I was not able to go through and read was Discovery by J.A.J. Minton. I thought about going through and trying to binge read this because everyone's going through and talking about how amazing this book is, but I didn't want to go through and waste an opportunity to really sit into the story and soak it in, because I've got really high expectations for this book based on what I'm hearing people say about it. So I'm going to wait until I have a shorter month where I do not have a lot of books I want to go through and read, and then sit down and really soak in Discovery by J.A.J. Minton. So that should be coming later on this year. So let's jumping into what did I buy, pre-order, and Bookmail. And I did not go through and buy anything myself, but I did receive some books. So let's go through and get to those. So I did go through and got a few books here. So let me. Oh, I won 2 books. So let me say that I won 2 books again, guys. Go through and just swing for the fences on these books. I did go through and win 2 books. So let's go through and open these first. We're gonna open up this one. It's from Lightning Source. I don't recall. All right. So let's see. Do not remember what this one is. All right. So this one. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yes. This one is A Dirge for Cassius, Part 1 by Caleb Lott. Look at this cover. Look at there. Look at that. It's gorgeous. So cool. So cool. Yeah, I remember I went through and I think I did this on X. Look, they got Big sucker for maps, man. Big sucker for maps. I got some really cool maps in here. So very excited to go through and add this to the shelf. Don't know when I'm going to be able to go through and read this one, just because I have a lot of books that I hope to get to before it. But this cover's amazing, and it's definitely going to be something I'm going to try to get to sometime this year. So super excited that I won a dirge for Cassius Part 1. So I'm going to jump into that very soon. So all right, so let's jump into this one. And this one is from another booktuber. He had a raffle. I think he had an extra copy of this book, and he was like, "Hey, whoever wants a copy, I'll add you to one of those fancy wheels." And I jumped in and ended up getting it. But this is from Josh from the Reformed Reader. So I appreciate you sending this to me, man. Super excited to go through. Been meaning to read this one for a while. I ended up, I think I bought the ebook at one point, but oh look, oh, you put a nice note here, man. I'm gonna go through and read this a little bit later, but I appreciate it. Thank you. So let's go through and look at this beauty. All right. Good, man. Took care of this book for me. Look at this. Woo-hoo. So this is Soul Cage by L.R. Schultz. I know this is making its rounds. I know you probably have already seen. And look at you, man. Got me a bookmark too. The Broken Binding. Appreciate it, man. Again, big sucker for bookmarks and maps. Killer map. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Look at that. So, Soul Cage, this cover looks fantastic. I definitely want to go through and read this. Let me know if you've read Soul Cage. I keep hearing great things about it. I need to know if this is something I need to push up on my TBR or not this year. But it's definitely something I want to go through and read. So, Josh, thanks, man. I really do appreciate you sending me this and sending me the bookmark and also this nice letter I'm going to go through and read later. But so, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Alrighty. The next one, jeez. All right. So this one is from Bald and Balding. Mike Mollerman went through, and I was on his channel 2 weeks ago. Both guys were awesome, cool dudes over there. We went through, we talked about nonsense, and after the live, Mike and I sat on and chatted for a while about all kind of stuff. Super excited to have him. He's going to end up being on the channel in July at some point. We haven't set a date yet, but we'll get something coming soon, and I'll let you guys know. But he went through and sent me a bunch of his books, and I'm excited to open them today with all of you. The first one he did go through and send to me was Rose book. Look at this. Look at this beauty. So I'm going to go through. This is book 1 of the 30 Stone Saga. Look at that. Look at that book. Beauty, man. So I'm definitely going to go through and read this one, and it's also signed. So I'm super excited to have a copy of this. I had no idea he wrote books because he doesn't really talk about it. Talk about your books, man. I had no idea. I didn't know you were. I thought you were just a editor and did all kind of fancy stuff for Mike. I didn't know you had your own book. So I'm definitely going to go through and read this. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And then these beauties. Like, I was over the moon excited when I saw these. Let me put the knife out of the way. Look at this packaging. Look at this. Look at this. Gorgeous, man. Look at this. Keeps going. Keeps going. It's not stopping. Not stopping. Then Mike said, "Hey, do you like maps?" Yes, I love maps. This man sent me so many maps, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. They all look fantastic. I kind of peeked at a little bit before, but they got all kind of cool stuff. And it's on super cool paper, and like, there's so many, I'm not going to show them all, but look at some of these, like, so cool. So cool. So the whole package full of these, so super excited to go through and take a look at these and try to figure out how I'm gonna post them up all around here. So your stuff's gonna be hung up on the wall, Mike. So I appreciate it. So let's jump into these amazing stories you went through and sent me. So the first one, amazing packaging, man, killing it, my friend, killing it. So the first one is the Howler Traveler. Look at that. Look at this hard copy. This looks so good, man. So good. So this is Children of Mars Saga Book 1. And I've heard a lot of great things on this. Number 2 of 6. That's cool. That's cool. I'm excited, man. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to be going through and reading these this year. So it's definitely look out for me to pester you with all my questions once I get through those books. Let's jump to the second one. This is To Break with Elders. Look at that. So cool. So cool. Amazing book, man. Thank you so much. Got a few more. Desperate Dispatches. Look at that, man. Look at that dragon. That's cool. That's a cool looking dragon. Cool looking dragon, man. Kill it, man. I know I keep saying it, but man, the packaging looks great. And then Becoming a Druid is the next one. And then the final one is Sins and Sorrow right here. And I need to go in and figure out what order I need to read these in, Mike. So, it's on the back. That makes sense. So, book 1, book 1.5, book 4, and book 2. So, there we go. There we go. So, this one, then we go to this one, or whatever. I'll put all the books up. These are awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And the packaging and all the maps. Thank you, my friend. I cannot wait to jump into your world, and then we can go through and talk about it, have a blast on our live later on this month. So thanks again, buddy. The next section, what is happening next week? So this upcoming week is going to be a lot of fun. Tonight, actually, I am interviewing the great Cal Logan from the author of Shadowbane. Super hyped for this conversation. You're not going to want to miss this one. I'm going to go deep because Cal wrote a epic story with so much intensity, so much battle. The dynamics between the siblings in this story are just a gem. Truly well done story, and I'm super hyped to talk to him a little bit more about this book and then also his book 2, and I think he's also thinking about writing a prequel as well. So he has so much more coming out in this world, and we're going to be going through and talking about that tonight, and you're not going to want to go through and miss it. Tomorrow on Saturday, I'm going to be going through and talking with Rowdy. We're going to be going through and talking about Howling Dark. You're not going to want to miss it. It is going to be amazing. Both of us actually agree that this book is amazing, so you're not going to want to miss us gushing and talking theories about this book and where the rest of the series is potentially going. It's going to be a blast. Then on Monday, I'm going to be doing my July TBR video. Quick reminder, you want to jump and do that poll by tomorrow, by noon Eastern Standard Time, if you want to vote to see what book I have to go through and read in July. And you'll find out during Monday, during the July TBR video. On Tuesday, I'm going to have one short. And then on Thursday, I have another author interview with the amazing Tim Carter, author of The Jester. This book is so much fun. If you are looking for a fun, hilarious story that takes a tropes that you're familiar with and kind of turns it on its head, this is the kind of book you're looking for. I laughed out loud multiple times within this book, and you are not going to want to go through and miss an amazing conversation Tim and I have about this book. We're going to be gushing and talking about how amazing this book is and how he came up with such lovable, humorous characters within this book. And then I want to jump into what else is he have in line for us in 2025 and even 2026, because this guy is going places from an author perspective. He's killing it right now. So definitely jump in and listen to Tim and I talk about his amazing story on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then on Friday, doing another weekly recap where we're going to go through and talk all things what happened this week, and it should be a blast. So let's now jump in to indie author spotlight. I want to go through and spotlight J.C. Vincent. He's the author of Blessings of the Damned. I personally think this cover of this book looks so good. The premise sounds amazing, and I'm super hyped to go through and read this book. I have it planned. This is a little spoiler. I am reading this book in July. It's going to be one of the first books I'm going to go through and jump into. And so I'm super excited to go through and read it. So definitely check out JC Vincent. I'll have a link down to his website and where you can go through and buy the book. And it's going to be amazing. So if you want to jump in with me and read this book, go through, check it. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited as well, and we can go through and read it at the same time and have a blast. The final section of the weekly recap is my favorite, and this one is the BookTuber Spotlight. And this week, I want to go through and spotlight someone special. Someone who has been an amazing person to go through and talk with on BookTube. We talk back and forth. He has been on BookTube, I think, now for a decade, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what he said on one of his recent videos, which is crazy, being on BookTube that long. Time flies when you're having fun, right? I'm speaking of Chaz from Bookish Chaz. He is, to me, he's a legend. I've been watching his stuff way before I even considered getting on BookTube, and his videos are always great. His perspective is even better. He's an all-around amazing person. If for some reason you are not following Chaz, you're missing out on a good time. I'm going to go through and have all of his information down in the description below. Watch Chaz, show him some love, jump onto his channel and tell him he is a rock star. He's a legend. He's the man. So thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by for another weekly recap. Let me know what you plan on reading in July. I'm looking forward to jumping back into normal cadence of books, and we're going to have a good old time. So thank you so much for stopping by. Till I see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Till I see you in the next one.